when they're not doing it. I don't know that there's not anybody in this room that isn't aware of a situation close to home that isn't influenced or has got some kind of contact with an addiction that has got repercussions involved. It's just that bad. And we take those people, we get intelligence, and we start with someone with a crack addiction, and you try to work that person on up, turning their sources until you finally get to some very substantial people. And these guys intimidate people. We've got people around here who've gotten away with murder. That is an absolute fact. We've got drug dealers who have gotten away with murder. Certainly have gotten away with a lot of assaults. So the intimidation factor out there is just as real in Halifax County as it is in Durham, as it is in San Antonio, as it is any place else. We've had an opportunity to work for a lot of federal agencies, and they absolutely adore our place because they said, wow, y'all have just got these crazy targets. You've got an abundance of substance abuse. You've got a lot of work to be done. So that's bad that it's like that. We already knew it was bad, but it's good to be able to compare with people who go around different places and have to enforce the law. We've definitely got some issues around here, and it's not easy. Everyone can know about a drug house, but we can go in 10 times, and if they've got any intelligence at all, we're not going to necessarily catch it on. There are just too many easy ways to detect us coming, and for them to keep smaller amounts around and eat them and flush them and everything else. Just wouldn't believe what people do to try to get rid of this stuff. They package it in aluminum foil so they can swallow it. Well, they retrieve it eventually. That's just what they do. Tough to do that, and I won't talk about that with you today. That is reality, though. That's what we've got going on. Budget issues really tie everybody's hands down these days. And you start talking about all the economic, there are economic influences on the law enforcement as well. Business is booming. They say the beer business right now was already good, and with the state of the economy, it's even better now. Beer people will joke with you about that and tell you that that's true. Unfortunately, that's true with us too. As unemployment's there, addiction, you've got people that sit around their houses and drink all day because they're not working, and now you've got domestic issues and there's substance abuse, and it's just a very vicious circle, and that contributes to so many other things. It affects these children. We can't stand kicking in a door because we know that there's going to be a child in there that's going to be scarred because we had to come in there armed and wound up because we want to go home ourselves. It's just a very vicious process, and it goes on weekly here in Halifax County. Just the enforcement that we're trying to do and are getting done is great. It's slow. It's making a local impact. It's measurable, but we're not stopping it by any means. We talked earlier about we've identified Mexican sources that came directly to Halifax. We know that there were 9 Mexican families that were the source of most of the drugs, those 9 cartels, and they've just recently taken down one. And when the government took that one down, they've got almost a civil war in that same town that those folks own. And a lot of killing going on in Mexico, and it's over drugs that are coming up here. So you got to watch this border issue. Thank goodness we're not in Arizona. I don't want any part of that. Yeah, it's bad. But there's I'm also going to have a section here for question and answer at some point in case you ever have any questions, whether it's regarding the drugs or not. Our unemployment rate right now in Halifax is 12.2%. But those are just to the people that are receiving it. Not everybody can receive it. Or some people's benefits are expired. So our unemployment rate, a lot of people think, well, it's only 12.2. Well, it's actually worse than that. That's just what's reported. 16,000 people in this county are getting food stamps. Our population is 54,000. So you want to talk about identifying the poverty, that doesn't. That's what we've got going on. And unfortunately, we go to drug dealers' houses and they've got those cards that they're using for food stamps, and people are still trading up the cards to get their crack. So, people that are on that stuff, occasionally we hear a success story where they get off completely and they don't relapse, but it's very difficult. There's a lot of good people and make the wrong choices to get in that position. And next thing you know, they're on it.